Hey everyone, it's January 4th. We're getting an early start this year on the season. Caught me a little off guard, but we got asked to do an exhibition car crush tomorrow, so that we're going to do that. I came out here yesterday to fire the truck up and make sure everything's okay, and happened to glance down at the gauges and found I had 0 oil pressure. I put it away with great oil pressure, so I don't know what happened. I'm hoping it's just a pinched oil pressure line, or the gauge decided to take a crap. I hope I have oil pressure. I checked the oil, there's plenty of clean oil in it. But we're gonna dig into it and hopefully we can get this figured out. Even if I have to replace the oil pump, the truck's pretty easy to work on. I can throw one in. I just hope there's no engine damage. It sounds fine, but I can't run it with no oil pressure. I got to know that it's there. So first thing to do is put a new gauge on it. I have a test gauge that I'm going to hook up and make sure I either have, confirm or deny that I have oil pressure. But yeah, now I got to reload my trailer because I had emptied it out. I had the trailer traded off, but it's a local show, so I'm going to load everything back up on a trailer and get to the exhibition tomorrow morning. Should be fun if everything works out, but old school monster life, man, you just can't get away from it. Every time you think you got it licked, something happens like this. So let me dig into it and I'll keep you posted on what I find. Okay, good news. I hooked up my little test gauge here and fired the truck up, and we're holding a steady 50 psi. So I don't know if I can do this. I gotta hold the test gauge, or maybe I can do that. Yeah, I'll fire the truck up so you can see. Okay, I dodged that bullet. So apparently either my gauge is bad or I have a pinched oil pressure line. So I'm just going to take my test gauge and throw it in the dash for now, so I have an oil pressure gauge. The needle comes up slow when I first start it, but I think that's more to do with the gauge itself rather than the fact that it's taken that long to build oil pressure. But it holds a steady 50 psi according to the test gauge, so that's what I'm going with. And yeah, I still have to fix the carburetor stud or run without an air cleaner for tomorrow, but we'll get this thing cleaned up and loaded up and ready to go, and then we'll have our first exhibition car crush of the 2019 season. Okay, here's my carburetor. I don't know if you can see it, but deep down in there is part of the carb stud that broke off traveling those wonderful Indiana State roads. You know, the roads with 8 inches of roadway missing, at random intervals. But anyway, I got to drill that out and put a new carb stud in there, put an air cleaner on it, wipe everything down, load everything up, and then we're ready for our first exhibition crush of the year. Why do they call them easy outs? There's nothing easy about it, and they never work. I don't know why I bother to pick them up out of the toolbox anymore. But I drilled it out, and I retapped it. It's a little off-center, but who gives a crap? It'll hold the air cleaner on. So, I don't know if you can see it, but come on, focus. Anyway, trust me on this one. There's new threads in there. Alright, well, it's the end of the day. We got the truck squared away, found a couple vacuum leaks, got the carburetor air cleaner stud fixed, and fix the oil pressure line that was telling me I had no oil pressure, when in fact I have about 55 pounds of oil pressure. So good news there, the truck's ready to go. I got the tires aired up, we're getting ready to load it up onto the trailer so we can head to, it's just a birthday party for a friend's grandson, but it's still our first gig of the year and I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, here's where we stopped on the engine. Nice and clean, everything back together. Ready to go. All I gotta do is load everything now. Whew. How can you tell when it's the first gig of the new season? When it takes you 30 minutes to load the tires by yourself and you're huffing and puffing like you just ran a half marathon. Oh man, I'm out of shape. Whew. Now for the easy part, gotta drive the truck on. Well, there we are, all loaded up and ready to go. Hopefully we're going to make one little boy very happy tomorrow at his birthday party. But, yep, getting back into it. Whew, I'm out of shape. It's going to be a hell of a year. Good morning. It's a great day for monster trucking. We're here at Ted Hutchins's place for his grandson's birthday. Come to find out that Dan DeGrasso should be here today. Gary Collins with the Budweiser pulling truck will be here today. I don't know if they're bringing their trucks, but they will be here. If it's okay with Ted later on, I'm going to take you down into a shop and show you what's left of Mr. Bad, aka Barefoot 3. But it should be a fun day. Does that look familiar to anybody? One of the old axles out of Barefoot 3. And over here, ta-da! Mr. Bad. Before that, Barefoot 3. We're finally getting it together. But this is what it looks like as of January, what is today, 5th? It's getting there. Everything's all brand new. And I mean everything, down to each and every bolt. It is all new. One of these days we'll get it done. Here's the other Mr. Bad axle. And what a lot of people don't realize is this thing had disc brakes on it. Funky setup, but it worked really well. It was just a floating rotor, and the hub turned and made the rotor float. And the caliper and that piece there was what kept the rotor in place as it turned. So instead of the caliper sliding back and forth, it was actually the rotor that did. It was a pretty interesting setup. But that's what's left of Mr. Bad, and they're going to a new home. Dan DeGrasso is going to take those axles and do something cool with them. But that's about it for the tour of the shop. I'll report back when things start getting going here. Oh, I got something else to show you. I wanted to show you the bed off of Mr. Bad and Barefoot. It's kind of funny because you don't realize the changes that are made to a truck over time, especially the old trucks, the scars that the trucks bear, and this is a big reason why a lot of them are scrapped. But let me show you real quick. There's the last of the Barefoot blue on Mr. Bad, but look at the bed. It's Swiss cheesed from all of the roll bars and fuel cells and whatever else he had in here. And over time, you know, you can only drill so many holes in it. But, you know, you change a truck so many times and then pretty soon there's just nothing left to save. But that's what happened to a lot of the old school trucks, and that's why each one saved is so special. It's the end of the day. We had a blast. Little Andrew had a great time with his birthday party. Beat. Anthony. What did I say? Andrew. I'm sorry. It was Anthony. I'm getting corrected from the distance there. Anyway, we had a great time. I'm too frickin' tired to tire the truck down, so the great thing about having a party at your friend's house is you can leave your stuff till tomorrow. Have fun, everyone. Well, it's the next morning. We're rested and ready to go, so I'm going to get the truck tired down and get it loaded up and get back to the house, and then I'm going to take it easy for the rest of the day. Here's another edition of Old School Monster Life. See how I have the truck chained to my trailer? That's because the hauler got stuck in the mud. So I had to use my truck to pull the hauler out. It happens. Well, that's it. We're home. First gig is over. Didn't have any damage with the truck. Didn't have any issues with the hauler. So we still have stuff to do. We have the panels to put back on the truck. We have the kingpin to straighten before we're really ready to compete for this year. But we got an early start, so we got a dress rehearsal for everything going on this year. Not bad, but we gotta get back to the grinding stone, finish the shop, finish the new hauler, and finish the truck. Old School Monster Life, here we go.